Back again, people. Title of this here is Fasting and Cancer. Fasting is nothing new. In fact, the practice has been part of medical recommendations and religious practices for centuries. But now we have scientific evidence to back up what we intuitively knew. Fasting can help the body rid itself of disease. One of the first major studies took place in 1945 and showed that intermittent fasting not only prolonged life but reduced the prevalence of breast cancer tumors in rats. Another more recent study in 2009 proved the practice can even reduce the severity of side effects due to high dose of chemotherapy. So what's going on here? How does simply moving food from one time of day to another really make that much difference? The answer lies in how the body and its cells react to what they perceive as starvation mode. Walter Longo, associate professor of gerontology and biology at USC, was part of the 2009 study. His study results were explained this way. In essence, the cells were waiting out the lean period, much like hibernating animals. But cancerous tumors respond differently to starvation. Okay? They do not stop growing, nor do they hibernate because their genetic pathways are stuck in mode, in on mode. Longo realized that the starvation response might differentiate healthy cells from cancer cells by their increased stress resistance, and that healthy cells might withstand much more chemotherapy than cancer cells. Few years later, Longo also reported that fasting alone was enough to treat many types of cancer in mice because the body's healthy cells were in this hibernation mode. The cancer cells tried to find other ways to divide and spread without much success, as Longo explained. The cell is, in fact, committing cellular suicide. What we're seeing is that the cancer cell tries to compensate for lack of all these things missing in the blood after fasting. It may be trying to replace them, but it can't. Of course, fasting is no magic bullet, nor is it appropriate for everyone. For those cancer patients who have already lost 10% of their their body weight, or who have chronic disease such as diabetes, fasting could prove to be dangerous. Always consult your physician before beginning any fast. At at Hope for Cancer, we work with each patient to plan a customized nutrition plan and will recommend fasting when it's most appropriate. Okay? Fasting and prevention. For those trying to keep cancer at bay, intermittent fasting may improve your sensitivity to insulin and reduce your insulin resistance, which has been linked to several types of cancers. There's also some evidence that fasting induces your body cells to begin the process of autophagy. Remember what I said earlier, autophagy, okay? Including neuronal and general autophagy to clean up cellular garbage. While the scientific evidence on cancer prevention is still premature, And keep in mind, the majority of clinical studies have been in animals, not humans. Nevertheless, there is some exciting evidence showing the potential. Fasting in you. If you're ready to try it, the first and I think the largest obstacle to overcome is mental, psychological. While you may be thinking there's no way you can or I can skip breakfast, I assure you it's easier than you think. Plus, a big dinner the night before will actually carry over pretty well into the next day. There are actually many different types of schedules for intermittent fasting. One of the more popular is the Lean Gains model, which is named after Martin Burkhan of leangains.com. I think it because I like it because it's the same schedule every day, which makes adjusting to it quite easy. Before you get started, remember it's not wise to begin fasting if diet is still your diet still needs improvement. You want to make sure you're consuming the right calories during your periods of eating. Finally, always listen to your body. Every Everybody responds differently. So be aware of your energy levels and adjusting accordingly. And those who are hypoglycemic, diabetic, pregnant, or breastfeeding should avoid any kind of fasting.